you in my 10 tips to count down to training. Today we're going to be talking about your training plan runs. And so the title of today is Understand Your Training Runs. So it's nearly time to start training for autumn marathons. So have you found yourself a plan to be following? If you're running London, then 16 weeks counting back from London is round about the middle of June. But if you're going to be following a 20-week plan, now is the time when you need to be thinking about starting your training. So if you're going to be following a 16-week plan, now is a brilliant time before you start your training to find yourself a plan and take a look at the running workouts that are included in that plan and practice them. So you've got them sorted. You know exactly how to run each of those running workouts to give yourself the best chance of running rail during your training for summer marathon success. So in this video, I'm going to explain typical types of running workouts that you're going to find in a marathon training plan. I'm going to talk a little bit about why they're included and how best to approach each type of run. So you really can hit the ground running with your training workouts and run well this summer. So first up, have you ever wondered why there's speed work in your marathon training plan when there's no way you're going to be running that fast on race day? Or your plan has got hills in it and your race is pretty flat. So why the heck are you going to be running hills? And you're not really too sure about what the fuss is all about running your long runs super slowly so you don't, because you're a bit embarrassed about having a slow time on Strava. So if that's you, then keep listening, because those are the exact questions I'm covering in this video. So we're going to take each type of running workout separately, and so here goes. So first up, let's talk about the long, slow run. This is the run that is the critical run in your training plan. So let's think about what the long, slow run is all about. Running isn't just about running. So we're not when we're training for marathons, it's not just about training our muscles, our legs to move well for covering the distance. It's also about training our body and also training our mind so that we are going to be well prepared, fit and able to tackle the marathon distance. And that's especially important with our long, slow runs. Our long, slow runs are not just about running. We do them also to train our body to burn fat for fuel. And that is why you need to be running your long runs slowly. So what you will find is that long runs are often called long, easy runs. And it's really, really important that you do run them super slowly, because when we run our long runs slowly, that's when we teach our bodies to burn fat for fuel. A lot of people then come to me and say, well, if I practiced all my long runs at that super slow pace, how the heck can I know how to run a little bit faster on race day? So if you take a look at your training plan, you'll see that you've got your long, slow runs, and they're often called easy runs or just long runs or slow runs. But you'll probably find some of those runs are asking you to run at marathon pace at some point during the run. Probably not the entire long run will be at marathon pace, but a section of it. So that is when you're going to be practicing running at your race pace. But it's really, really important when you go out on your long runs that you run them super slowly, because it's only then that you are going to be training your body, making adaptations to your body for it to become a better fat burner. So how did your long runs go in spring training? Did you run them slowly, or did you always go out and look to beat a previous PB time? So it's important this time through our training through summer, that you go slow on your long runs to get the best training advantage for race day. Okay, next type of running that you'll find in your training plan is speed work. Again, why the heck am I including speed work in a marathon training plan? Well, speed work is really, really important because it builds up your cardiovascular fitness. And it builds up your running efficiency and your running economy. And that is really important for the latter stages of the marathon. Now, we're doing speed work, and you'll see in your marathon training plan, it might be called a threshold run, which is a run that you run at about 80% of effort. Or you might be doing intervals or fartlek training or yazoos. They're all different types of speed work training. And a lot of those types of running, again, they're about building your cardiovascular system and getting you used to running at a pace that is just below your lactate threshold, and it helps to push that lactate threshold out a little bit further. So that's really, really important for the latter stages of your marathon. What you will find is when you do speed work training, it's going to feel uncomfortable. I've got a group going through some coaching right now in my spring training virtual run camp, and we're doing some speed work right now, and everyone hates it because it's hard. But it's critically important to help build your cardiovascular system, your running engine. What I also find with speed work, it's great brain training. One of the things that we always say about running a marathon is it's like 50% physical and 50% mental. And doing things like speed work, which feels hard, it feels uncomfortable, and your brain is going to want you to stop. It's great training for race day. If you can keep yourself going through some hard intervals or a hard, longer threshold run, if you can convince your brain that your body is okay to keep running and you're not going to stop, that is great practice for those sorts of conversations you are going to be having with yourself on race day itself. So don't ignore speed work. It is important to help build your running engine, your power for running on race day. Okay, so did you run speed work in your spring training? Did you know what sort of pace you needed to go at? And think about now, how could you improve on what you were doing in spring for your summer training? First couple of marathons I trained for, I had a marathon training plan and it had speed work in it. I ignored it. I just went out and, like many of you, just ran the same route at the same kind of average pace every single day, which was a real shame because I missed out on the training advantage I could have got by actually following my training plan and actually doing the work and building my body up fit and strong for race day. Okay, what else? Hill work. So why are we doing hills in our marathon training, especially if our marathon is pretty flat? So if you're running London or Manchester or Brighton, they're not very hilly routes. London has got a couple of sort of ups and downs, and they're pretty much underpasses or bridges over railway lines, but there are no noticeable hills. So it can be tempting to think, yeah, my marathon is flat, I don't need to be running hills. But hills are in your marathon training plan because, again, they work on building your cardiovascular system, but they also help build your running strength. So they're great to build strength in your legs, and also they can help improve your running form, which is quite important when we're going through marathon training. So what sort of hills might you find in your training plan? So a lot of training plans have things like hill intervals where you'll go 60 seconds up, 60 seconds down, but a lot of training plans have got things called continuous hills. And I get a lot of questions. People say, well, what the heck are continuous hills? And it says, oh, I've got continuous hills for 5 minutes. What does that mean? And basically, if you're running continuous hills, the best way of thinking about it is you've got, say it's a 5-minute block, you've got 5 minutes, and what you want to be doing is going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's probably 60 seconds. 5 minutes doesn't work, but 60 seconds, 30 seconds up and down. So that would give you 5 minutes. So it's running that sort of continuous block up and down. And what you want to be doing is to run a sort of at the same sort of pace going up and down. So it is a hard block of 5 minutes, and then you probably have a couple of minutes rest, and then you might go again. Continuous hills can be really, really tough workout, but once you've done a couple of those sessions, you will really, really start to feel the improvements in your fitness, as well as your running form. And again, because hills are hard, we don't want to do them. Although the guys in my spring training run camp have fallen in love with hills. They don't like the threshold running I'm giving them, and they find the long, slow runs a little bit tough because I'm asking them to run them slowly, trying to practice that. But they've all fallen in love with hills for some odd reason. But again, hill training is quite tough. So you want to make sure after you've done your hills that you give yourself adequate recovery time. And they're tough, so once again, they work your brain. So don't ignore them, because race day, the more brain training we can have done, the better you are going to be able to cope with the demands of the race itself. So, spring training. Did you do hill runs in your spring training? And how did you feel that they improved your running form and your running fitness and running strength? So take a look at your training plan and look to see if it's got some hills for you to be tackling over the summer. So in summary, right now is a great time to really start to understand what's in your training plan, the training plan that you are going to be using this summer. And before your training kicks off in a couple of weeks' time, it's a great opportunity right now to start practicing those types of training runs. So when you get to start your marathon training, you know exactly what you should be doing. So you're not sort of trying to work out what pace you need to be bashing up your hills or running at in threshold running, because that takes a little bit of getting used to make sure you're not running too fast and then burn out and don't want to do it. And you still got to make sure that you are running fast, so you don't want to be just ambling around in your speed work. So it's a great time to get started. So in summary, let's think about the types of training we have in our training plan and how to run things well. So first up, everyone is going to be doing long runs, and my recommendation for you is we need to be running those long runs super slowly at a conversational pace. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can train our bodies to become better fat burners, burning fat for fuel. And that's really important. And the only way we're going to do that is by running those long runs slowly. Number 2, you'll find speed work in your training plan. Take a look. It'll have a sort of strange code very often on running plans. Try and decipher the codes to work out what they mean now. And we're doing speed work to improve our running power, our powerhouse, our cardiovascular strength. And with third, hills, which are there to help, again, cardiovascular fitness and help you build running strength. So if you've got a bit of time, if you've had a bit of time out over the last few months and you're a little bit worried about restarting your training, watch out for an invite from me over the next few days to my free 7-day summer training kickstart that we're going to start on the 1st of June. In this 7-day free coaching series, I'm going to help you get all of those runs right. So over 7 days, I'm going to be giving you running workouts and some conditioning workouts. And we're going to try out speed work. We're going to try out some hill running, and we're going to try out getting our long runs right, running them at the right type of pace. So what we're doing in those 7 days is really practicing what you need to be doing, how you need to be running each of those types of runs right, so you can get them right when you start your marathon training. So watch out for an invite for me. Drop me a comment below this video if you are interested in joining us. If you feel that your spring training just went a little bit average, yes, you got through most of the training plan, but in all honesty, you weren't sure if the runs that you were doing were as good as you could do, and you feel after listening to this video that you'd like a little bit more coaching advice to make sure you're getting them right, you're getting the pace right, you are getting the most from those workouts, then make sure that you drop me a message and I can send the details about our 7-day summer training kickstart to you. So in the meantime, make sure that you've downloaded the Ultimate Marathon Preparation Guide for loads of tips and advice to get started for first timers. If you found this video useful, don't forget to share it with your friends. Make sure that they are set up for training well this summer. And I'll be coming live again tomorrow for your next tip in 10 days to count down for training. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, and let's go running, folks. Take care. See you next tomorrow. Bye.